in 2012 in Quebec took place the greatest student movements as well as mass movement in Quebec history. There were at least 100,000 students who took part to this movement. It was because of the government that decided to increase significantly the fees to study at university. He wanted to increase the fees by $1,600 at least for 3 years. So the students refused such a decree, and then they voted for strike in many colleges as well as universities. And then government's answer was to repress the student movement. But repression, in place of putting an end to this movement, in fact, fed the movement. So the movement was growing, and then the government had to set back. So in September there were legislative elections, and the Liberal government lost those elections. And then the next government decided to put an end to the decree. So it was a very great victory for the student movement in Quebec, and also a great victory in the struggle against neoliberalism. Between United States and Canada, there's some difference between two systems, because in United States the system is more based on competition between the private university system and the public university system. In Canada there is no such competition. So for that reason, generally the provincial governments decide of the fees the students have to pay at university. So, for example, in Quebec, there is a law. A university cannot ask for fees higher than what is permitted by the law. But there's also great differences between Canada, the English Canada, and Quebec. Because in Quebec we have the lowest fees in Canada. For what reason? In 1960, during that period which was called the Quiet Revolution in Quebec, we decided collectively to catch up the education level of English Canada. So for that reason we decided that the fees would be lower in Quebec than in the rest of Canada. But in 1980, this was, as everywhere in the world, the neoliberal turn. Then Quebec government decided to increase the fees. So they increased the fees in 1989, and they decided again last year in 2012 to increase the fees. But Quebec resisted because we feared that French-speaking Quebecers would not have enough access to universities in order to catch up English Canada. So for that reason also resistance in Quebec was stronger than in English Canada. But as a result, today Quebec is becoming a model for the rest of Canada, because there is some students in English Canada who claim a decrease of the fees. Ontario government already started to decrease university fees. So Quebec is becoming a model, and we also know that in United States fees are so high that many American students decided to study in Canada, and this is also becoming a problem for United States. Of course, Quebec is neoliberalism in Quebec is public policy as well as any other countries in the world. Specific in Quebec maybe is the resistance to neoliberalism that is stronger than in United States, for example. And what is the reason for that? It is because of the quiet revolution of the 1960s. With the quiet revolution, we wanted to catch up, as I said, the education level in English Canada. We also wanted to catch up the rest of Canada for the standard of living, for many other things. So as a result, we decided to create many state enterprises. We decided to redistribute wealth from a more egalitarian way. We decided also to nationalize hydroelectricity and many other things like this. So for that reason, the Keynesian turn of the 1960s is very tight to the national idea development in Quebec, to the national consciousness in Quebec. So when the government in Quebec tries to attack this model, it is like to attack the Quebec identity, the specific Quebec identity. So this probably contributed a lot to this resistance from society in Quebec, much more than everywhere else.